Hey everyone, welcome to episode 31 of X to Interact. I'm here with Gaff
Hi.
and Eric,
Hello there.
and I'm your host, Steven. We are here today to talk about Doom Eternal's new Horde mode, how Forza 5 looks absolutely amazing, and we're going to get a sneak peek at what's to come maybe for a PlayStation State of Play. But first of all, guys, I want to ask you, what have you been playing this week?
I'll start off. Some Marvel's Avengers on Xbox Game Pass. It's really fun. It's a really good superhero story. I love Miss Marvel, and gameplay is fun. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish it, especially since my 1 month Game Pass is about to be up, and I don't plan on renewing it because I'll just be playing some new games pretty soon. So that's unfortunate. But I had a lot of good fun with Marvel's Avengers. I just yesterday I started It Takes Two with my girlfriend, and I can already tell that's going to be a fun ride. Lots of nice puzzle solving, some nice not quippy, but funny humor, and I'm really interested in where the story resolves. But I just know I'm having a really good time with my girlfriend because she doesn't play games as often
Yeah,
as I do. But it's like we're into it.
that's really cool, man. And you said you saw Dune, right?
Oh yeah, and I saw Dune, but that's a movie, Steven.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to catch up with you guys, like, let people know what we've been doing through the week. And um, Eric, I know other than your flu shot that you got, how was
Yes.
your week? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've been playing. I played ODST for Halo Explorer, which you guys can see in the channel later on this week. Um, Also, I believe after we record, I can't even remember when I got it, but like the day after, no, after we recorded the podcast last Sunday, I went to my local game shop because I was kind of bored, and I decided to pick up two classic games that I used to own back in the day. So I picked up Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't played much of that. And then I picked up this. It's not in case. I picked up Sonic Heroes on the
Oh
PS2,
yeah, let's go.
and pretty fucking janky, like how I remember it. So that's for sure. Definitely a bit of frustrating moments in it, but yeah. Played a little bit of those. Um,
Did you play any of Sora and Smash?
yeah. Oh yeah. How the fuck did I forget about that? Yeah, of course I played Sora and Smash. I played that Monday he was released. I did his classic mode. I got all his spirits, so that's fun times with that.
Wow.
Did a little bit of online, and I'm liking how he's playing so far. Like he plays exactly like how he plays and how you would how he plays like how you would feel he would play in Kingdom Hearts. Like it translates very well. He's definitely a lot floatier than I would normally like in a Smash character, but definitely a character I can probably like jive with for sure.
Now, you mentioned playing Halo for Halo Explored, which you guys can all find on our YouTube channel, Exit Interact. Catch up with us on TikTok now, YouTube, and all podcast services everywhere. But I actually played a little bit of Visage, right? And I played like the first, I guess, third of the game. That game was spooky, man. Definitely anxiety ridden the whole time. If you know PT or you're familiar with PT, this was inspired from that. And it delivers, I think, so far. But yeah, that, and I was planning on watching Dune, I think, today, because of what you guys keep saying about it. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna start getting into the news. First off, we have Doom Eternal's Horde mode coming, and it's in update 6.66. This
How fitting.
is, I know, right? This is from GameSpot, and the author, let me get the credit here, Eddie McCooch at GameSpot. And I have us a trailer real quick. I don't know if you guys can probably not see it, but I have it up real quick, and I'm gonna watch it for the audio listeners here.
Have been designed to break you.
So
Study your tactics.
my question being, right,
You will fail.
the mechanics of Doom Eternal are awesome. There's no doubt about that. What we're seeing there is just like a small teaser of, I guess this is coming on 10/26, and it's what you'd expect from like a horde mode. You're killing a bunch of baddies to get a score multiplier, and obviously gets harder and harder progressively as it goes on. The interesting thing about this was it basically replaced their invasion mode, right?
What was invasion mode gonna be?
Yeah, here, let me double check on this. I'm loading it right now. Invasion mode, same from GameSpot, it's been canceled. So invasion mode, a planned post-launch mode that would let you enter other players' games and control enemies, has been replaced by a single-player horde mode. So invasion mode was originally envisioned as a Dark Souls inspired, one sec, there's an ad. Dark Souls inspired feature, but it seems to be too ambitious given the current development setup for so many studios. So I guess it just kind of didn't fit with their bandwidth, given that's something they hadn't done yet, right? Some interesting mechanics there, but it seems akin to like Death Loops mode, right? Where you're going in and you're the enemy and you're going through and killing the player, which honestly would have been really fucking cool if you ask me. I really loved Doom Eternal. I think it was a little too fucking hard, but especially the Marauders. I don't know if you guys have ever played the game.
Yeah, the Marauders.
Bullshit. I'll just say that.
There's a trick to them, but I can't imagine having to fight more than one at a time, which you do have to do in the DLC. I know.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I just think I'm going to cut back to smaller, but I just think it's kind of cool though that they're still supporting this. And obviously, I don't know. I kind of wonder, and I want to ask you guys: do you think the acquisition of the Microsoft acquisition of them kind of changed plans for their DLC? Do you think they'd still be releasing this had they not been supported in that way?
No, I don't think their plans changed at all because they got bought by someone else. If anything, like they have more resources at their disposal to make whatever they want. I'm more willing to believe that they just decided to go with a different game mode. Me personally, I think this is the right move. I mean, yeah, invasion mode sounds like a cool mechanic, but how often are people really going to want to do that? And also, like, don't some people not like the mechanic of Deathloop because they just feel like it's griefing at times?
So I'll say this anecdotally. Dark Souls is where a lot of that came from, right? I turn that shit off every time I play Dark Souls.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think more people are gonna play horde mode more of the time and have more fun in it. So I think they made the right call.
Eric, any thoughts?
I agree with Gav. I feel like I don't think the Microsoft acquisition changed anything. I just feel like when you described that invasion mode, I was like, really, an invasion mode in Doom Eternal? Because like that doesn't sound like a Doom thing, you know? That sounds like more like it's like a Dark Souls kind of thing. And a horde mode just to me sounds it fits Doom a lot. Yeah.
Kind of like the challenge gates, right?
Yeah, and I feel, and you said that Doom Eternal was like fucking hard as shit.
It was hard.
Like, I feel like just adding an invasion mode would probably like up that difficulty a lot more because now you have a player controlling. I assume the demons, right? They're not playing as like another Doom Slayer or anything.
I think maybe that feedback, right? When people played it post launch, were probably maybe is the biggest part that had them steer a different direction. But it is interesting to see like Gaff said, like more resources, and hopefully because of the more resources, this horde mode is really in depth because I like horde modes. I really like Gears horde mode. I think they're the best at doing it personally. Yeah. So if it can be it can be Doom Eternal's mechanics, and then they're all under the same umbrella now. Maybe they can share a little bit of tips here to the id Software people, and we can get something truly special here. But I know I'm like overhyping it and vamping it a little bit. It kind of seemed like a smaller announcement, but it was a really cool idea. I really like Doom's mechanics, so I just want to play Doom more. Really,
what's interesting is that there's a level in, I forget whether in the first Doom or this one, where you do play as one of the demons, right? Take control of them and you kill other demons with it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think you put on like a helmet or something, and like you're your, I guess, spirit gets transferred to one of those jetpack demons, right?
Yep. Um, so like they did make that in the game, and I guess that would have like carried over to this invasion mode. So now they're not doing it, which is I guess is a shame.
Yeah,
Hopefully they can bring it back in some way.
they had a touch of that in multiplayer in like the battle mode,
Okay, that's good.
where it's like demons versus the Doomslayer. So you've got like, I think three. I'm not sure the number of them, but you have a number of demons versus one Doomslayer who's obviously overpowered. Um, and that gets pretty chaotic. That was kind of fun. But enough on that. Let's go to, I don't know, who wants to go next? I think it's, yeah, how about Forza? Tell me about Forza, guys.
Okay. Well, Digital Foundry, the go tier YouTube channel that tells you why a game is pretty. They finally did a video on the Forza Horizon 5 preview that a lot of channels and other people in the gaming industry did get. And I was waiting for this video like all week because yeah, everyone can tell me that it looks great and it plays great, but I want to know why and in terms that I'll like vaguely understand. And so these guys are you go to these guys to get that kind of information. And so the gist of it is Forza Horizon 5 looks amazing, right? Who would have guessed? To get into the nitty-gritty of it all, there's a quality and a performance mode. Both modes target native 4K, which is uncommon because usually in the performance mode, the game would instead revert to 1080p. So it is an interesting decision here. Quality mode is 30 FPS. Performance mode is 60 FPS. However, in the performance mode, what they compensate with is they lowered the level of detail and the draw distance. However, on the flip side, the quality mode implements motion blur to smooth out the image between frames. So despite it being half the frame rate, Digital Foundry does say it still plays very, very smooth. And you wouldn't be missing a whole lot by going to 30 FPS.
And if you're an audio listener, I have a clip of it, like a hands-on preview clip from GameSpot. They're just playing a little bit of it, and it really, really does look great. They're going through a couple different things here. Obviously, the intro to like some of the it's like a sandstorm. What I'm looking at right now, like the weather effects seem really awesome.
And then they went to the Series S, and it's also very interesting because it plays like from a technical standpoint, like almost exactly the same as the Series X. The only difference is it only does native 1080p, so that's how they're compensating. Otherwise, you get the exact same level of detail in the performance and quality mode. And this is something again that's across the board. It is a locked 60 FPS and 30 FPS. That green line that indicates the frame rate, it is flat as hell. There is not a single dip, no matter what they try to do, which I think is like just so impressive. And shout out to Playground Games, like they and Turn 10, like they're up there in the echelon of game developers with like, in my opinion, with Naughty Dog and Insomniac. But you can fight me on that later.
They make me really like a racing game, so.
No, yeah.
And they touched on ray tracing in Forza Vista, which is only available in quality mode. And so, in case you don't know, Forza Vista, it's basically just when you look at your car in your garage, which is disappointing. I wish ray tracing was in actual gameplay, but this is what we get. But they couldn't get too deep into it because it was just a preview. But they said that ray tracing was actually a pretty marginal difference. I mean, yeah, you get some improved reflections when you're looking at the car. But the thing is, the baked-in reflections in this game are just so good. Just the way they mess around with the game's cube maps. So, yeah, maybe you're not missing out on a whole lot. And I think that's very, very impressive.
Yeah, they always kill it. They have a tenure of great racing games. I think since every time they do it, I keep wondering like, okay, they can't possibly top the last one. And with 4 they did it, with 3 they did it, and so you know, all things considered, I think that's going to be the case with 5.
Oh, and speaking of 4, they mentioned how 4 and before, a lot of the terrain, like, yeah, the game was beautiful. It had a lot of cool landscapes, but a lot of like the ground cover that you drove on was sort of like very obvious, noticeably procedurally generated. Not procedurally, sorry, just like generated with an algorithm, right? So a lot of it is kind of samey, like the grass and stuff. However, what they said with Forza Horizon 5 was it the ground detail was very buried, as if it was like in real life. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot more variation and a lot more things to look at instead of the same old like brown dirt.
Well, I mean, that's always a positive, right? When they're utilizing the next gen tech as much as possible. So, I mean, I can't wait to play, man.
That's the thing. This game is coming to the Xbox One, and those guys, they were wondering as well, what is this going to look like on the Xbox One? I have no idea, but it's going to be some black magic that's going to make it work.
So I'll say that I'm probably going to be checking this out on like the cloud, right? They have the cloud gaming thing that utilizes all of the power of the Series X, and if you have a good enough connection, it's 1080 still, but you're getting all of the frames and things like that from the next gen systems.
Because it's running on a Series X somewhere in the United States of America, and it's coming to you via the power of the internet.
I think it's so awesome, man. I really do love that service because that's how I played ODST, honestly. I played ODST through the cloud, yeah, because I didn't want to reinstall it on my Xbox, and I didn't want to play on my PC, so I'm just like, all right, let's check it out. And I played it, no issues at all. No stuttering, nothing. Everything felt awesome. So shout out to them and their freaking tech, dude. Like, I don't know. It blows my mind that this is where we are with games right now. If you'd have told me when I was like 10 that we have games that you could just click and be ready in less than like 20 seconds, I don't know. I'd have told you you're crazy. Eric, any thoughts on Forza though?
If you told me like a couple months ago, hey, you're gonna be excited for a Forza release, I'd be like, you're crazy. Because then I played Forza Horizon 4, and it's just stupid amounts of fun.
Yeah.
You like just driving around is so much fun. Like I don't really like do much of the races, but just like driving around and relaxing, listening to the radios. Horizon XS is my favorite.
Oh, dude, the radios.
So good. So good. I download some of those songs on my phone. Some of them are bangers.
Yeah, and then they got me with their fucking Forza wheel spins or whatever. Just like the dopamine of getting the wheel spins and getting something cool. You're like, oh yes. They gave me they gave me so many cars. I'm like, I don't even know which one to drive. But I do have some like my favorite ones. And then Eliminator is surprisingly fun. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's their battle royale mode. I really hope it's back in the Horizon 5. I don't know if they ever said anything about it, but that's definitely like one of my favorite modes in that game. It's
a highlight, man. Have you haven't checked out Eliminator if you haven't checked out Forza yet, do yourself a favor, even if you don't like driving games. This is not a car game. This is a driving game, and it really captures that.
And I just love how like you can like customize how difficult the game's gonna be. Because like for me, I suck at fucking racing games, but like I have the difficulty set down all the way to the easiest mode, where like it slows down for you automatically on like those turns or whatever. And like that's how I play. I just have fun with it. I'm not competitive in it or whatever, but I can have fun with it.
So you're excited for 5 though? You got it pre-installed, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna check it out definitely for sure. Like it'll be something nice to play, but then like 2 weeks afterwards is Endwalker, so there's that for me.
yeah, we should definitely jump in because I know if we miss like the initial hype from that, as those games go, it's harder to jump and form a group back into it. We should all check it out.
I'll definitely have a fun time with it though. It's just looking so good.
I 100% agree. And then I guess finally, a weird transition, but finally we're going to get to the article from PlayStation blog, just highlighting the next state of play, which comes next Wednesday, which is the 27th, correct?
Yep.
And it's just
EST.
And there's not much to go over here. I did want to touch on it though, because I wanted to get like a vibe check here. There's going to be, I guess, from Sid Schumann over there, saying that there's going to be updates on upcoming third-party games for PS4 and PS5. And it says, let's hear. Oh, also, yeah, if you're going to be streaming this, there's going to be some copyrighted content, just as a side note. Looking to be about 20 minutes or so, and it'll share new looks at previously announced games, plus a few reveals from our partners around the world. It's a very short blog, and it doesn't really get me super excited for it. I'm not the PlayStation guy, obviously. But...
Too bad we're missing Sam.
I know. He probably would have a lot more thoughts on this. I'm the indie guy, though. So I am interested to see what they're going to show for, like, for the really... there's a couple of indie games that they've announced previously with in PlayStation State of Plays that I'm excited to see updates on. So I don't imagine we're going to see anything Titanic, like any new gameplay on any of the first party titles, to be honest, but I'm happy to be surprised. What do you guys think?
We might get some Call of Duty, right? They're tied to PlayStation now, and it comes out on the same day as Forza, actually.
Oh yeah,
I'm playing Forza though. I'm not gonna play Call of Duty.
Right.
So yeah, maybe some more gameplay from there. Maybe some Sifu.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm hoping
or
for
Stray.
That. Stray is the one, I believe. Yeah.
The biggest bomb drop that's from a third party I can imagine is there's that rumored Star Wars game that's
right.
I think was gonna be like announced for December, so probably not gonna be here. But that's the one thing I can think of right now.
Well, they already own the Old Republic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I guess it'll be a kind of, hopefully not, man. I like, as much as exclusives are exciting for platform holders, I hate them. I hate console exclusives. It's just bad for the consumers.
Unless it's first party, I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, first party I get. That's your own platform. You're trying to sell your console, totally. And I guess it kind of applies to third party, but I'm just not really behind the whole exclusive or like timed exclusive DLC shit that they do with Call of Duty, which kneecap it on other platforms for like the co-op modes and things like that. Anyways, that's a long discussion. But do you guys expect to see anything like?
Eric, you might get your Final Fantasy 16 here.
That's really like my only hope, honestly. Like, I just want Final Fantasy 16 to be here, man.
Yeah, I hope so.
Persona?
Eric,
no, my camera froze.
Yeah, your camera froze. We'll keep moving along though. No big deal. I just think that given that the level of energy and like the announcement, that the length of the blog, usually you can tell if it's going to be like a bigger one by like the word count from the blog, in my opinion. So
it's weird too because we just had a PlayStation thing.
Right. That's what I was about to say. We just came off the heels of a bigger PlayStation event, so I really doubt. Maybe they're just, like I said, they're just giving time for the indies to breathe, which I do appreciate, man.
I did see this funny comment though, where somehow we're going to see more gameplay of Deathloop.
God, they're going to run that into the ground. Honestly, is what I imagine. Because here's the thing, we bought Xbox bought Bethesda, and I imagine it behooves Sony to be like, yeah, but we still got that Deathloop though. So what are you gonna do about that? Yeah, Eric, I don't know. Do you want to move around a little bit? Your camera's
no, I'm still here. Just my camera is being all wet.
No worries. It'll be. Bear with us.
At least the frame you're frozen on isn't very humiliating.
Right, you just look focused. It's cool. We need that kind of energy going into this next part, because we're gonna pivot to the main topic now. This is an interesting one, guys, because I don't know if it's going to be actually interesting, or if I'm just crazy and I think that it's kind of a cool thing. But the main topic for today is NFTs. Now, wait a sec. I know it's boring crypto crap, but
Yeah.
it has some relevance here. Recently we did a watch along for the DC fandom, right? And as part of like the fan,
Ugh.
I know, God, as part of like the fan rollout for the event, you could register to get an NFT. They're like, hey, we partner with the studio. We're doing some NFTs, which are just, I still kind of, I don't know if I completely understand, but we'll get into that later, exactly what they mean and what they are. But the point being, like, they gave away those, and it made me think of and reminded me of like when this whole thing happened with the Sonic the Hedgehog NFTs. Like, now this comes to this brings us over to Game Rant. Mason Samsonia, sorry if I messed up the name, but says many fans of Sonic the Hedgehog are not happy about Sega Japan's plan to begin buying NFTs of early Sega works to profit off of them. Now, here, I'll read a little more into it, but it says, it is the classic era of Sonic the Hedgehog games that many fans look back on with the most fondness, as later games in the series are often considered a mixed bag. In addition, Sonic fans are particularly possessive of the mascot and series as a shared cultural touchstone. Some of those fans are not happy about a recent decision by Sega Japan concerning its old intellectual properties. They've teamed up with Double Jump Tokyo to begin creating and purchasing NFTs of its older intellectual properties. This includes iconic characters such as Sonic and the rest of the cast from Sonic titles, all scheduled for December 2021, which has since come and gone, but the reception to this has been not great. And I think like the concerns, a lot of them come from like energy consumption, right? It's very bad for the environment to make and sustain this blockchain kind of art, essentially.
I've had that discussion, I've had a very heated discussion about that with my friends, because I'm in environmental science, so I'm very concerned with these sorts of things.
Right.
And yeah, I do think it's scary to monetize basically the consumption of electricity.
Right.
I think that that's not a sustainable future, right? With our current way of things of how we power all of our appliances.
I wanted to comment real quick. The article goes into like, wow. It says you can really tell Sega of America and Sega Japan do not communicate in the slightest. And on the left, it says, this Earth Day, let's all do something that leaves the world better than we found it. And then Tokyo, Japan is announcing this. It's very, very tone deaf. Very, very, I wouldn't say unfortunate. Very tone deaf is maybe where I'll just stop there.
Yeah.
It's just not a great thing. And my question for you, and you guys would be like, would you ever, I mean, granted, I already probably know your opinion, but would you ever consider buying one if you had the chance? And I guess what are your overall feelings on it? I know you said that it's a negative usually, but Eric, do you have any opinions on that?
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like,
let me sorry, before you get into it, let me explain for people who don't exactly know, right? NFT stands for non-fungible token. Non-fungible means not interchangeable, so the value is not a set price, but varies depending on how much someone or the market deems it is worth. The token part represents how it's stored and sold through blockchain, which is like a digital ledger. And essentially all of that means that when you purchase this, you own that piece of intellectual property forever, in perpetuity, until you transfer ownership through currency or whatever it might be to another person. So even though there are copies out there, you own technically all those copies. You have ownership of those. And I'm not exactly sure how that works out in permutations for things like the fandom, where clearly there's not like, maybe there's one pixel different on mine, right? That's on somebody else's. And so, yes, I own the Wonder Woman thing and the Green Lantern one, but like, it's like marginally different than someone else's who has probably the same one with like a couple different pixels or something. And I imagine that's how they get away with that kind of thing. Um, one more thing I wanted to kind of touch on is like the price some of these go for. Let's see. Someone bought an edition of, I think it was Top Shot. It was like what they're saying is there are only 59 of the cards sold, and a few of the collectors own. So these are like digital cards, right? They represent like almost the beginning form of NFTs and where they came from, and people doing trading cards and basketball cards in this case. And this is the lowest ask for this card of a LeBron James was $220,000 USD. Now, yeah, and this is not even the top one. If you want to get a more kind of scale for how things go, there's one called the Moon Room from Decentraland, which I guess is so the final NFT in this list is a unique property in Decentraland. Just 10 months ago, which I don't know when the article is, the Moon Room was purchased by Valhalla on OpenSea for 1,400,000 mana, which I don't know what the fuck that means, but I assume it's crypto. The sale marks the fourth $1 million property in Decentraland's vast crypto world. So these things, they take a lot of energy, and they're popular because, people want money, I guess. People are greedy and they can't help themselves. And it kind of sickens me that we're starting to lead. And one of the things that they dovetail off with is that they're starting to, more and more developers are starting to get into this idea where they're making a game as an NFT, as it's a digital property. And I think that's scary, but I'll let you go, Eric.
So, like, to be honest, for me, like, I haven't been really keeping up with this NFT stuff, but like, just what I hear about it, this is like so stupid about what it is. Like, you're you're buying something that like you really don't own, but like, yeah, I don't know.
You can say you're the owner is the process, right? Is the idea, right? Like, hey, you have that Sonic over there, but like I own it though. But you have it too, but I own it.
Yeah, it's like so weird and like stupid. I don't know, like if I would ever buy one, no. Like, why would I waste my money on something that I don't? Or, like you say like you're saying that we own it, but like you really don't. You really don't own this thing. Like the best example I saw like online was that like you see the Mona Lisa in like an art museum or whatever, and you want to buy it. So you pay the money, but instead of getting the Mona Lisa itself, you get like a piece of paper saying you own the Mona Lisa, even though like someone else can like buy like the same thing basically is what I'm it's like very very confusing, but like
yeah, no.
Stupid.
So it's interesting, right? Like, I just think it's interesting and slightly scary for the environment is what I really want to go at it for.
Oh yeah, and I haven't even gotten into the environment stuff yet either. Like, fucking terrible.
Like, I just don't know. I don't know.
That.
Yeah, and then so I'll let on that topic. I think we will let Gaff to speak to this because probably the most knowledgeable about where this kind of plays into that.
Okay, so my thoughts on NFTs will probably overlap with crypto. Yeah, I think it's a scary concept, but I think a lot of new tech is scary. And for better or for worse, like I think we gotta accept this. I will say I think there'll be more positive benefits than not if we can figure out our energy problem. Like the energy crisis is the underlying problem here. When I had a discussion with my friends, we came to an agreement because I'm in a kind of a different place. Toronto and a lot of Ontario, we get our power from hydro, and so it's renewable. Right. And we're not actually burning a lot of our fossil fuels in order to get electricity to our house. And so therefore, I guess you can turn as much of that energy into crypto or NFTs as you want. Of course, there's the argument of stressing the power grid, but like our infrastructure should be able to handle that. And if it can't, then we need to do something to fix it. But yeah, otherwise, if as long as we're still burning fossil fuels, it really makes me sad to see people like I thought we were moving away from like trying to consume more energy, but now people are now getting into this, and now they're like running their computers 24/7 at these crazy high voltages and just consuming so much energy, and it's sad. But yeah, all this like blockchain tech, I think it's worth discussing because you guys might remember the whole incident with OnlyFans, how they were gonna remove all sexual content because what happened was the bank companies, they didn't like didn't like being associated with this sort of thing, and that's scary. Bank companies shouldn't be able to. They shouldn't hold influence on what is going on the internet, right?
Right.
And that's because our money is regulated by the banks, which are separate companies. Blockchain tech like crypto and NFTs, I guess, they're unregulated, which comes with its whole own bag of issues. But I guess that's more of a free market. I'm not an economy student,
Sure.
so I'm not an expert in this. But yeah, it's scary, but I think we can learn to live with it. And I don't think we should deny it just because it's new and unfamiliar tech.
I'll say this: the biggest part for me, and I know, like, obviously, yes, the biggest part is the environmental impact for fossil fuel burning, and we need to figure that part out. And that's a bigger, much larger and grander. How do we solve and move away quicker from these fossil fuels and dependency on them? Because the world is suffering. We run into this thing where, and you're seeing it now, like, you have people having this secondary market of like graphics cards and it's very hard for people as it relates to us, like, to actually go and get these I guess harder with the supply constraints on top of it to go and then get anything next gen or any kind of GPU or anything. So it kind of stifles that for people who actually want to fucking play the games rather than just turn a buck and or use it to, I don't know, to daisy chain a bunch of GPUs. Or I think what it was in like Russia, one of the examples of like a crypto mining thing where they got raided or some reason because it was illegal practices because they were leeching off other people's power. Back to that, right? Like I think it was like thousands of PS4s, right, were being used that they found. Obviously slightly modified, I'm sure, and cooled differently, but like yeah, it's just fucking shitty. I am struggling finding a Series X because of that. Like, oh, I'll have the money for it, but it's not there. And then like, oh, it's there for like 2 seconds, and then I won't have the money for it. You know, it's just you have this argument where you're like, one thing leads to another, and I guess it's more on supply constraints than anything. But the free market aspect of it kind of probably leads to a little more seedy things that are going on, and I'm not a fan of people who then turn around these, I guess, probably used for crypto, right? Like they'll use them for that and then turn it around to someone who's looking to get a GPU at all, really. And then I guess taking advantage of that. But I think NFTs are scarier in the prospect of like intellectual property of like, what are you going to do to turn a buck, I guess? What does that mean in that larger aspect? But also for games, like, how are you valuing your properties? Does it desensitize things like Sonic the Hedgehog, right? People are like, oh, well, you're cashing in again on your own property that you already own and selling this insignificance to someone who really, like, it just doesn't fucking matter. All of it's, I think it's stupid, the idea of NFTs. Crypto in general, I think, is a cool idea. maybe we need better implementation. But yeah, I don't know, I kind of went on around there, but I feel like it's going to become more and more prevalent as we go on. We're going to see more and more companies taking advantage of these NFTs.
There is definitely no stopping this.
No.
And I'm going to call it right here. Like, this is, and a lot of people are calling it, this is the future.
Yeah.
The future.
Honestly, yeah, right. Where you get the creds or whatever, and like, yeah, I don't know. Are we approaching a microchip future where, like in Star Wars or something, where you just transfer it by holding your wrist out or something? I don't know.
I mean, off topic, but I'm all for a cashless society.
Sure. There's not really you run into the possibility of losing everything when you get hacking, but that's another thing for encryption and things like that. But as you're probably bored to death now, Eric, what do you think any properties? What companies do you see doing this, I guess, in the near future, if any?
Let's see. What companies are doing it now?
I don't know specifically, but I'm saying, like, if you think of companies, what do you think would be like the likeliest candidate to try to do something like this, I guess?
Activision, EA, maybe.
Yeah.
Like those two are like top of.
If you want to talk about someone that's possessive over their IP, then look no farther than Disney.
Oh God, yeah.
Konami, I can see doing, to be honest. Oh man,
you can clearly see that the lucrative part of it is there. I was listed by, like, in the doc, I have the list of like things just selling anecdotally for huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
People buy it, which I don't understand. But
hold up, let me check that list again. I opened it earlier and I closed it, but I think there was a FIFA one on there, right?
Yes, there is FIFA. It's Neymar, or not Neymar. I can't remember. Sorry, I'm looking through it right now. Yeah, it's Neymar.
I see Neymar. I see I don't know, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
NBA's on here.
NBA's, and so, like, yeah, I think, yeah, you're gonna see more and more of this. Unfortunately, I don't know. I just think it devalues in a sense to some of the things. Like
F1's on here too. So yeah, I can see like NASCAR. Maybe, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, so these aren't like strictly video games most people, or properties most people would know exactly the origin of, but it is interesting in a larger sense to see, like, okay, maybe this is the start of it. We're gonna see, all right, pre-order now for here's pay $20 more and you'll get an exclusive NFT with your pre-order, right?
Yeah,
I see that bullshit happening. And I'm kind of just fucking annoyed about it. That's all I wanted to really sum this up. Is it's very annoying, and it's not done well enough, and it concerns me for the environment. That's all. Your final thoughts, guys?
No,
Tech is scary. It can be scary, but it doesn't have to be if you get to know it.
Yeah, and I guess with that, we're going to go ahead and end the podcast. But before we go, I wanted to get some recommendations. I know I do this normally. Do you guys have one movie, comic book? It could be anything. Something that people can look to and report back to us, maybe, if they look at for next week. I guess I'll start off. I think go to your local comic book store. They are struggling right now, but you can find some really great things, and you'd be surprised, even if you don't. I'm not personally into picking up anything and reading it. I'm normally like an audiobook listener or playing video games, right? So, but it's surprisingly cathartic nowadays to have something tangible to flip through, and comic books aren't super heavy into text as much as like a book would be. So I recently started the I can't remember, it was a Spider-Man, I think it was like the first appearance of Carnage, right? I recently started reading through those, and just because of obviously the new movie and I think you should check it out. There's some really cool things in the Spider-Verse, is comic book wise, that's going to be my suggestion to look at.
Well, I'll second that the comic book store thing. My local comic book store called Heroes World, shout out to them. Like, I don't go to them. I wish I went to them more because they're pretty awesome. I figured they're pretty good at stocking their shelves with like relevant content. So, like, you want Shang-Chi because you just saw the movie, they got a bunch of Shang-Chi comics up. You want to prepare yourself for Eternals, they got Eternal comics. And not only that, but they have like their catalog is huge. They got a lot of cool collectibles. They got like the metal Captain America shield from Marvel Legends that you buy for like hundreds of dollars. They got the Force FX lightsabers. And as far as card game goes, like, I learned that the pandemic, along with many other things, shipping for trading cards have also like been severely hampered. So it's very hard to find a Yu-Gi-Oh set. So yeah, give some help to them because they're suffering from shipping and COVID as well.
Yeah. Eric, did you have any parting gift for everyone?
Go see your local doctor. Go get vaccinated, please.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna second that. Second suggestion: go get your COVID vaccine. You have no excuse not to if you live in the U.S. It's free. Help other people, help yourself. With that, that's gonna be episode 31. It was a quick one today, guys. A little bit of education for everyone, but. Please do check us out on YouTube, X to Interact, where you can see Halo Explored 3, which was uploaded, I believe, this last Thursday. Next one being ODST, which we just got done recording, sneak peek, that you can expect to see hopefully within the next week, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably sometime soon.
Yeah, watch our Twitter, X to Interact _. We're audio versions on all the audio podcasts everywhere. And now we have a TikTok, so go check it out. It's just some dumb shit of me and like some other cool things and some previews. But yeah, for X to Interact, I've been Steven.
I've been Eric. My camera's not working, but I'm still here.
And that's been Gaff. I think he's also frozen.
Oh, no.
That's going to be episode 31. I appreciate you all for listening. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.